What's up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be showing you 5 different super easy, really delicious ways that you can prepare a wild hog, and hopefully you'll put some of these to use next time you kill one. Let's get after it.
My name is Matt and I live for moments like these. Guys, I killed the biggest buck of my life this morning. I'm far from an expert, but using persistence and a little bit of luck, I'm able to make some pretty cool things happen. I do my best to capture the entire harvest, the kill, the prep, and my favorite part, the meal. Because to me, it's more than a hunt. It's man versus deer. He is a mass monster. Holy cow.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out a man versus deer video. I love to post hunting videos. More specifically, I like to post catch, clean, cook style hunting videos. If you're into that sort of thing, make sure that you subscribe and definitely hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any new videos. Well, it's a Monday night and it's a weird part of the year, especially if you're an avid sportsman. It's after deer season, it's before turkey season, and that is a hard time to deal with as an outdoor person. You kind of feel like banging your head against the wall, and it's really hard to fill that void. Luckily for me, I had an opportunity to go hog hunting with my dad, and we were successful. We brought home 2 really nice boars, and we've been eating on them ever since. I've actually been able to make a ton of different stuff with them, and that's kind of where this video is coming from. I wanted to show you guys 5 really easy ways that you can prep wild hog meat that are going to be super delicious. And I gotta say, I hear a lot of opinions on hog meat. My experience so far, and we killed 2 boars. They were on the younger side, but it has been as good or better in some cases than venison. So I really think you guys are going to dig these recipes. I'm going to go in order from last to first. With that being said, all of these are great. I would happily eat any of them again, but I am going to rank them so that you know which one was my favorite. With that being said, let's jump straight into the video and get to the first recipe. Alright guys, the first dish we're going to be making is some pulled pork, and for this we're going to be utilizing the front part of the hog, which is the shoulder. We're going to remove the shank and we're going to cover this with a nice sweet barbecue rub. We're going to make sure it's covered head to toe. I used a nice cherry cola rub for this. Next thing we're going to do is just pop this thing in the smoker at 225. It's going to stay in there for about 6 hours. I like to leave it in there until a nice dark bark forms. Once I have the desired bark, I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to wrap it in foil, and it's going to stay this way for the remainder of the cook, which is ideally about 200 degrees or until the meat starts to fall off the bone. As you can see, the meat is flaking right away from the bone here. We're going to flake all the meat off of the bones, we're going to set it to the side, and then we're going to toss it in a barbecue sauce. I like to use Sweet Baby Ray's, and we're going to mix it up to where the barbecue sauce is evenly coated. It then goes back into the smoker for 15 to 20 minutes, just long enough to caramelize that sauce and attach it to the meat, and then you are left with something that you are going to really enjoy eating. For dish number 2, we are going to be making some teriyaki pork chops. For this, I like to use a hog loin, and I'm going to chunk this thing up into about 1-inch thick steaks and set them into a bowl and get them ready for a marinade. The marinade that we're going to be using for this is actually 2 parts. The first part is actually pineapple juice because it does a really good job breaking down the muscle fibers and making it really tender. It's going to sit in that pineapple juice for an hour, and then we're going to strain it and rinse it. We're then immediately going to follow that with some of Lowry's teriyaki pineapple marinade, and then we're going to make sure all the meat is evenly coated in there, and it's going to sit in this marinade for about 15 to 20 minutes. From there, it goes straight to the smoker. We're going to smoke at 200 degrees until this meat reaches 145 degrees of internal temperature. Once it reaches that, we're going to pull it off. We're going to let it rest for about 5 minutes, and then we are ready to slice right into these things. Alright guys, next item on the menu is we are going to take and actually cure one of the back hams on this hog. That process starts by making a brine. Our brine is going to consist of water, a couple of cups of brown sugar, 3 1/4 cups of kosher salt, a little bit of curing salt, the pink kind, a couple of tablespoons of pickling spice,
and then about a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. We're then going to let this simmer, get just below a boil, enough that everything dissolves and it changes into a nice dark color. We're then going to take it off heat and let it cool. While we're doing that, we're going to start trimming up our actual ham. We're going to remove any fat and any silver skin from the outside and get this thing looking nice and pretty. We are going to debone this thing, and to start this process, we're going to cut all the way around the shank. We're going to find that femur bone and cut it out to where it meets the cut we made from the shank. And when you do that, you're left with a completely boneless ham. You just got to clean up any remaining fat and silver skin on the inside. When your brine is completely cool and you've got a clean container you can store everything in, you're going to place your brine into the container, and then you're going to place your meat inside of it. Once you've got your meat in your brine, you can take a Ziploc bag full of water, or 2 if you need to, and place it right on top. This is going to raise the level of the brine and completely submerge the hams. Then you're ready to refrigerate and store this for at least 5 days. Once that's done, I basically remove it from the brine. I'm going to pat it dry. I'm going to rinse it off, and that's going to remove a lot of that salt. And then I'm going to take some butcher's twine, roll the ham up, and just kind of bundle everything up together. Once that happens, I'm going to put it on the smoker at 225 until it gets really close to an internal temperature of 145. Once it gets close to that temperature, I'm going to apply a homemade glaze to it. I'm then going to close the smoker and let it finish cooking to the rest of the temp, and you are left with something truly amazing at the end of that process. Once you take the butcher twine off, it holds its shape really, really well, and you can get a carving knife and carve out big slices of this. This is one of the favorite ways that I had of eating this hog. It's really, really delicious. I think if you try it, you're gonna love it, and I think it would also be good on venison hindquarters as well. Second to last dish we're gonna make is some ground breakfast sausage, and to start that process, we're going to be grinding some meat. I used about 5 pounds here, chunked it up and then ground it. Next, we're going to add some spices and seasonings, and there's a lot. We're going to start that process by using 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, we're going to follow that with 1.5 tablespoons of ground black pepper, we're then going to hit it with 2 tablespoons of ground sage. You can add more of this if you want. It's kind of a to taste kind of thing. Next, we're going to give it a couple of teaspoons of ground thyme. Then it's going to get hit with a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar. And lastly, just for a little bit of heat, we're going to hit it with about a teaspoon of crushed red pepper and then a teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper. Once you've got all your seasonings, it's time to mix the meat up. It's going to take a while to get all that stuff distributed evenly through your grind. Mix, 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 and then when you think you're done, mix it some more. Once you've got everything mixed, you're ready to cook this stuff. All you have to do is form it into some sausage patties and get it into a hot pan. Once it's into a hot pan, no rocket science here, you're just going to cook it until all the pink has gone away. Once you do that, you're ready to enjoy some of the best breakfast sausage you've ever had. So the last dish, which was by far my favorite dish that I made, is actually a type of teriyaki jerky.
This recipe starts with a Japanese barbecue sauce marinade. We're gonna hit it with about a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes, about a tablespoon of garlic, and we're gonna set our marinade to the side. We're then gonna take out a couple of nice pieces of hog loin, remove any moisture with a paper towel, and then we're gonna start slicing it up nice and thin with our carving knife. I really take my time here. I'm getting those pieces as close to paper thin as I can. Once I get all that done, I'm going straight into a Ziploc bag with the meat. I'm gonna cover that marinade right over the top of it. I'm gonna let all the air out of the bag and close it up as I do that. And then I'm just gonna mix the marinade and the meat around until everything gets nice and evenly coated. And then it's gonna set in the fridge for at least a day. Once it sits in the fridge, you're gonna smoke it at 175, lower if you can, until it starts to get the consistency and feel and look of shoe leather. That's when I like to pull it off, about what it looks like here. Once that happens, grab a friend and get ready to enjoy some of the best jerky that you've ever had. Well guys, that is the end of this video. I really, and I truly mean this, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out a man versus deer video. I hope that you found what you were looking for. I hope that you were entertained. More than anything, I hope that you like this video enough to either share it with a friend or come back and watch another man versus deer video. If you want to see the hunting video where we actually harvested these animals, it's a really awesome watch. I would highly recommend it. I'm going to post it in the suggested videos. As this video closes, you're gonna see it pop up, and all you have to do is click on it and it'll take you there. But that's the end of this video, guys. I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for tuning in. I want to give all the glory to God, and until next time, guys, good luck in the woods.